Welcome everyone to our Monday night calls. My name is Giancarlo Torres, and I am your friend. Super happy, like every single Monday at the same time, because we always have the privilege to talk and interview with someone that's had an amazing testimonial with the most important product in the world, Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum. What is Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum? There are two natural products, two nutraceuticals, and they help our own bodies raise a molecule called glutathione. Again, it's not a drug, it's a natural product. But once you raise inside your body, great things can happen. And today, we're going to talk to Dave, my friend David Bevins, and he's going to talk a little bit on his testimony. Now, before we start this call, I have to make a statement from the FDA that the products that we will be talking about tonight are natural products per se. So we can't say that they treat, cure, or diagnose any disease. But while we have to make this statement, once we raise this molecule in our body, which is what Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum does, great things can happen. So with that in mind, I'm going to spotlight my good friend David, and we'll talk. David, can you see me and hear me all right?
I can see you again, and I can hear you.
Dave, my friend, first of all, thank you so much for saying yes to this for this Zoom. Really appreciate it. Dave, first question. Who told you about Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum, and what position you were in your life that you were open to listening about this product?
Well, I heard from about it from Lou Perini. Most of you know Lou, I guess, Lou and Dale. And well, it's kind of a long story, but I have CLL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and I was diagnosed with it about 18 years ago. The doctors, they know ahead of time it's a slow moving cancer of the blood, attacks the white blood cells. They know you have it ahead of time, in many cases, quite a bit, 10 years for me. But they just say, wait and see until it, starts affecting you. So that's kind of where I started with my adventure that time. 18 years ago.
Wow. So when Lou tells you about Immunocal, were you skeptical about it, or were you just open? Hey, let's go try this.
Well, yeah, I had never heard of it. Skeptical, yeah. I mean, oh sure, something that's going to cure you, or keep your blood from the CLL, keep your blood levels regulated. But I certainly couldn't hurt. I was to the point where I had to go off my medicine. Mm-hmm. I was going to do that, and he had talked to me just prior, a few months, or maybe 2 or 3 months before I was making that decision. And so, I had thought about it. I looked into it a little bit, and I thought, well, I get my blood level to it. I would get a baseline of my blood levels. And when I went off my medicine, then I would start with Immunocal and we'd see what happened.
Fantastic. Okay. Awesome. What was, you were skeptical, like most of us, which is normal. What caught your attention then about the product? What made you make the decision to try it with yourself?
Well, Lou, I trusted him. I looked at I went on a couple of the meetings I've read before, and leukemia attacks your white blood cell, that's your immune system. So it made sense what he was saying. If this could feed my immune system, how could it hurt? It couldn't hurt, right? So that's all I knew. It couldn't hurt. I didn't have any other choice other than to stay on a chemotherapy. I was on a targeted chemotherapy for almost 8 years, and had the flu every day. Basically, what I got fatigued. I felt bad every day. Some days were worse than others, but it got to the point where I would take those 4 pills in the morning and look at them, and it was just a bad situation. And I was, I had to do something.
Yeah. So proper education on the product really got you to say, you know what, let's try this. So now you try Immunocal and you decide to be consistent with it, the right dosage, for the cancer. What happens? Tell us a little more on that.
Well, like I said, I was on targeted chemo called venetoclax, and it was a very new drug. In fact, when I first started my chemo, it wasn't available to me, but it did take my blood levels down to nearly normal levels. So the doctor said, since you're feeling so bad, and by the way, the first medication I was on not only made me sick, but another side effect was the heart murmur. So I developed the heart murmur. So I had to go off that. I moved to the venetoclax, and it brought my blood levels down, but still, I was just felt so bad on it. I was going to go off it. And the doctor at that time said, well, we can go off. By the way, I did go off the ibrutinib, the first medication, and my blood level was shot right back up. So the CLL was there. They were just keeping it under control. After the venetoclax, I wondered what was going to happen. I wanted to go off it. Doctor said, well, we can, there's other therapies we can try. It's making you sick. It's really it's not a good level of life that I was having. My energy was low. I felt fatigued, and I was grouchy. My bones ached. It was bad. So, so I was going off it, and I started the Immunocal. I started since my blood levels were pretty good. I started on one platinum and one regular in the morning, a platinum and a regular in the afternoon.
So 4 pouches per day?
4 pouches per day. Yeah. And I hope for the best, because this was, the treatment for leukemia for what I had was bone marrow transplant. Before the medication that I was on, bone marrow transplant, blood transfusions, which I would not take, just full chemotherapy. It was bad. I'm glad I had the medication I had. I didn't feel good on it, that's for sure. 8 years, nearly. So I went off it. I started Immunocal. Doctor said, I showed it to him. This is kind of interesting. I showed it to my oncologist, and very nice man, older gentleman who'd been doing it for years. He looked at it just for a second. He looked at it and said, well, just food, it won't hurt you. I don't have any problem with it. So I started taking it. And he said that, it's probably not going to show any symptoms one way or another for 3 months. So we'll wait 3 months and come back and get a blood test, and we'll see where you're at. So kind of funny, I took it regularly for 3 months, went back, got my blood test, went in. And I mean, you can't imagine, I was holding my breath, Yep. And he showed me the graph. It's interesting because he almost took a double look at it. He's not going to admit, this guy's not going to admit that Immunocal had anything to do with it.
Of course.
He took a double take and showed, well, look at your graph. And my blood levels just dropped from, almost normal down to rate normal level.
Wow.
Normal level. And, it's the best news that I could have had that day. You can imagine, for the last 8 years, I'm sick almost every day. So, so that was last July, 3 months. So he said, well, we'll see what happens in 3 more months. I went back, and my blood was just leveled off. It was normal. He said, your blood's perfect. That's his word. It's perfect. We'll see you in 3 months. So I just just a couple of weeks ago, went in, full blood tests and everything, said the CLL is not in the blood anymore. I mean, so, you know, he won't say it's the Medi-Cal that's keeping me, but when I went off my medicine before, my numbers spiked. And I have more energy. I don't have a flu. I don't feel that way. I haven't been sick at all. And I'm dealing with getting old, but man, I don't know. One thing I could say is that, you know, I've heard people, and I talk to people about what people ask me, well, what are you doing? And that's basically, I had no thought of becoming a consultant or
Yep.
promoting but people ask me, well, what are you doing? And I tell them, and they, you know, people have issues, things that are happening with them, as we all know. And I just told them, and there you go. People are getting results with the Medi-Cal that they're taking. And, you know, some feel, and I've heard this said, well, I don't have any problem, I don't have any issues. You know, if I would have had a Medi-Cal 20 years ago, I may not have had CLL at all. And at least when I knew when I had it, and they were just waiting for me to get it to get really bad. And in the meantime, by the way, I would get the flu a couple times a year. I have a cold all the time because my immune system just wasn't working. But where it got to the point where they were going to have to put me in the hospital, that's when they started the chemo and the targeted chemo pills. It was oral. 9 months later, I'm free of CLL right now. Anyway, so.
And Dave, and really, you know, that's awesome. You know, we're so happy that, you know, that you're better and that you don't feel like you have a flu anymore. That's amazing. And, you know, to know that your blood levels are normal, it's incredible. Now, Dave, you know, for the people that are watching this live, or for the people that are watching this through a video, right? And they're listening to you, they're watching you, they're amazed. They probably have leukemia, they probably don't. They're interested in trying this product, Immunocal or Immunocal Platinum, but they're a little scared, Dave, you know, a little scared. And they're like, you know, I'm not sure if I've tried a lot of things. And, you know, like, and I think a lot of us go through this fear a little bit. What would you tell them before we end this fantastic Zoom?
Well, one thing that an oncologist or anyone will tell you is to not try to enhance or trigger your immune system to get it, because it's, you know, what's happening with your immune system, it's not working right. It's producing mutated white blood cells and it's clogging your system. So they don't want you to, you know, enhance your immune system. But Immunocal is just the food, you know, it provides a necessary amino acid into your cell system so that glutathione, it can tune you up. It feeds your immune system so it's working at the highest level that it can anyway. That's what I feel. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to make you better.
Fantastic. Well, Dave, my friend, again, so happy that you're better. So happy that Lou, you know, he didn't stay quiet, but he told you about it because, you know, then you wouldn't, you know, not have this great story. So, you know, we hope, you know, you want to say something?
One other thing, thing I've noticed, I don't know, about 6 months ago, I was sitting at my table and I was looking down, or maybe 7 months ago, I was looking at my arms and I was kind of getting skinny. You know, I felt like I was kind of my atrophy, you know, maybe my muscle mass was, and I had been sick for years on medication. But I know now the muscle mass, my arms are back to where it was. I'm stronger, I'm working out, I have the energy to do that. I take the booster, the energy booster every morning as well. But other than that, I really noticed the effect in my muscle mass in my body from the platinum.
Wonderful. So not only did it help with your cancer, but also helped your muscle mass. So you know, for the ones that are watching this live or are watching this through video, definitely go back to the person that invited you. First of all, say thank you. Be like, thank you. Thank you for sending me the link for this. And you know what? I want to be like Dave. I want to have a testimonial also. I want to feel good and eventually be part of this testimonial. So Dave, my friend, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's it, Dama, for today. My friends, my name is Giancarlo Torres, and I am your friend. Love you all.